Hello, fifth graders, it's Mrs. Tremblay, and for this you're going to need your workbook page packet. Yours is pretty and in color. Mine is not. That's okay. I'm not too jelly about it. Right now I'd like you to open up your packet to page 9. Page 9. It should look like this, Unit 1, Lesson 3. Use the multiplication table to find equivalent fractions. So I don't know if you know this, but you can use multiplication tables to find equivalent fractions. And remember, equivalent fractions are fractions that have the same value. They take up the same amount of space. If you're looking at a number line, they kind of end in the same exact spot. So they look a little different, but they have the same value. It's kind of like my kids call me Mom, you call me Mrs. Tremblay. It doesn't change who I am, right? Still who I am. It's just two different ways to look at it. So if you take a look at this, yours, the 3's going across are darkened in, and sorry, the 3 and the 5, and here the 4 and the 7. And it shows you down here 3/5, 6/10, 9/15 right here. Do you remember what that's called? When you have like a chain of equivalent fractions? Yeah, it's just called a fraction chain. So I don't know if you noticed, but these right here, the 3 and the 5, that's the same as this 3 and 5. 6 and 10, 6 and 10, 9/15, 9/15. And remember we said that one way we can create equivalent fractions is to multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. And so if you look at 3/5 and 6/10, 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. So those would be equivalent. 3 times 3 is 9, 5 times 3 is 15. So 3/5 and 9/15, those are equivalent. And if 3/5 equals 6/10, so that means 6/10 equals 9/15. And 3 times 4 is 12, 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15, 5 times 5 is 25. Well, it's no accident. Up here, if you look, to get this 3 and this 5, didn't we multiply both the 3 and the 5 by 1? And to get the 6/10, we multiplied both the 3 and the 5 by 2, and both by 3. So if you're looking across in this multiplication chart, you have a ton of equivalent fractions. So once you go ahead and put some equal signs in between these. The same thing here. And to get 8/14 from 4/7, we multiplied those both by 2. And here we multiplied both 4 and 7 by 3, both 4 and 7 by 4. So we have some equivalent fraction chains from our multiplication chart. For number 1, it says, color rows 4 and 9 in the first table. Use the table to complete the equivalent fractions for 4 and 9. All right, so if you want to pause and grab a crayon, or if you just want to circle, that's fine. I'm going to color the row 4 and the row 9. Remember, rows go across. So here's my 4, and here's my 9. Now to get these answers for fractions equivalent to 4/9, remember that when we got the 8/18, we got that result by multiplying them both by 2. And we get 12/27 by multiplying them both by 3. So if I want an equivalent fraction chain, all I really need to do is, okay, 4/9, that's multiplying by 1, so we don't have to include that. But the next one I see is 8/18. So I'm going to write down 8/18. Next one over, 12/27. We got that by multiplying them both if you follow it up by 3. And next one over, 16/36. 20/45, 24/54, 28/63, 32/72, 36/81, and 40/90. So we have a lovely equivalent fraction chain, and all we had to do is just look up at our multiplication chart. Nice, isn't it? All right, number 2 says, color rows 3 and 8 in the second table. Use the table to complete the equivalent fractions for 3/8. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm just gonna keep with my yellow crayon. And I'm gonna color in my 3. And I'm gonna color in my 8. And again, if you wanna circle those, it's fine. And we wanna use this to make an equivalent fraction chain. So again, 3 and 8, that's times 1. We already did that. The next one would be 6/16. So in that first spot, I'm going to write down 6/16. I'll show you down here where I got it. Now why don't you go ahead and write in the rest, and then Press play to make sure you get them all right. Okay, so I saw 6/16, and then the next one would be 9/24, 12/32, 15/40, 18/48, 21/56, 24/64, 27/72, and 30/80. Okay, if you wanted to, you could just press pause right now and then check your work. Notice on the top, this is going up by 3 every single time because multiplication is the same as repeated addition. And down here, this is going up by 8 every single time. Okay, last little section here says complete these equivalent fractions. So we want to complete this equivalent fraction chain. So I have 1/4. So if you look up at your table here, 1/4, I see here's my 1, here's my 4. So to make our equivalent fraction chain, we have 1/4, 2/8, 3/12, 4/16, and all the way across. So again, why don't you go ahead and fill this in using your multiplication chart, or you can use your count by ones and your count by fours, that would be fine. And then at the end, just press play to make sure you got it right. So we already have 1/4, 2/8, 3/12, 4/16, 5/20, 6/24, 7/28, 8/32, 9/36, and 10/48. And again, go ahead and press pause right here if you wanted to check all of them. And you're gonna do the same thing with 1/3. So I'm gonna just use the other chart. Here's my 1, here's my 3. So we have 1/3, 2 6, 3 9, 4 12, 5 15. And again, this is happening because I'm multiplying the 1 and 3 by the same number to get that result. So if you multiply 1 and 3 both by 5, then we get 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 5 is 15. That's how you create equivalent fractions. Multiply the top and bottom by the same. So down here, you should have 1/3, 2 6, 3 9, 4 12, 5 15, 6 18, 7/21, 8/24, 9/27, and 10/38. All right, awesome. One more page. And again, if you need to pause to check your work, go for it. And here we go. All right, split fraction bars. So this is gonna tie in kind of everything that we've been talking about with breaking up our unit fractions, and we spent some time in small group talking about this, so I wanna tie everything together. So splitting fraction bars. It says use the fraction bars to find equivalent fractions for 3/4. So here's 3/4, right? And then notice in all three of these pictures, the whole amount is the same. And right now, they're all broken up into 3/4. But what we want here is, I wanna know how many eighths this is, right? So currently, this is broken up into 4 pieces. If I wanna break it up into 8 instead, what would I have to multiply the 4 by to get 8? The answer is 2, right? So that means that each unit fraction, each fourth, should be broken up into 2 pieces. And doing that will give me my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So now notice here, this is still the same size as the 3/4, but now it's eighths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths, which is equal to 3/4. To get the eighths, we did 4 times 2. To get our 6, 3 times 2 is 6. It's the same multiplier because we broke up the unit fraction into 2 pieces. For this one here, instead of fourths, I want 12ths. Okay, so my denominator, I want it to be 12. So what can I multiply this 4 by to break it up into 12 pieces instead? 4 by 3, right? 4 times 3 is 12. That means each unit fraction I want to break up into 3 pieces. So I have to draw my 2 lines, and there's 3 pieces here. Draw another 2 lines, another 3, another 3, and another 3. Now you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 3, 6, 9 of those 12s is the same size as 3/4. And to get the 9, we would use the same multiplier. 3 times 3 is 9. Oh, which I forgot to list the multiplier. Here the multiplier is 3, and here the multiplier was 2. So again, the multiplier is the same as the number of pieces you would need to cut the unit fraction, meaning 1/4, that's a unit fraction, numerator of 1, into in order to make that denominator. Okay, now we've got little penguin. He's puzzled again. I know, poor guy. Dear math students, I tried to find a fraction equivalent to 5/6. I multiplied the denominator by 2 to make smaller unit fractions, right? Because, yeah, when you multiply the denominator, you do get smaller pieces. He said this can't be right because 5/6 is almost 1. Yeah, we only need one more 6 to make 1. And 5/12 that he got is less than a half because 6/12 would be a half. So that can't be right. 5/6 can't be equal to 5/12. Why doesn't my method work? Well, what do you think? When we created our equivalent fractions up here, did we just multiply the bottom by the multiplier? No, we had to multiply the denominator and the numerator. So what did Puzzle Penguin do wrong? You forgot to multiply the numerator by 2. Multiply the numerator by 2. And if you answer that and you have something similar to what I have, you don't have to have my exact same words on this, that's fine. You have to multiply both pieces. And Puzzle Penguin makes some pretty common errors. That's a common error that I see happen all the time. We multiply one and then forget to multiply the other. When we're in our multiplication tables, we saw you have to multiply the top and the bottom, both fractions, by that same multiplier. All right, and we'll do our check for understanding in class. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.